Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Sonic Movie Show, the only show about Sonic news, and Sonic movie news. My name is Ethan, and with me here to Wahoo and Let's A Go is Devin.
It's me, Carissa Pratt.
Very close, very close.
He says that, right?
You might say it, like on the red carpet. I bet someone said, "Can you say it's a me, but like your own name?" And he's like, "I'm soulless." No, I'm kidding. He's okay. He's okay. Chris Pratt
I'm
belongs
looking
to
for
one of
Jack
those...
and the Giant Peach.
Yeah, Jack Black and the Giant Peach. God, how old was he when that movie came out? I remember that movie, James and the Giant Peach. He wasn't in it.
I haven't
I'm
seen
just
it.
saying. I'm just thinking about it.
I had it on maybe VHS. I don't freaking know, but I haven't seen it probably since I was
I hated
6.
Hated
Yeah,
the
me
idea
neither.
of
I didn't
giant
get
bugs. Yeah, didn't like it.
I don't remember what the plot was besides he sits on it. I don't remember.
I don't know if Tim Burton was involved, but it's probably one of those. This kid's
Let me look it up.
misunderstood, and there's a little bit of an air of
When did this movie come out?
creepiness to I don't know. Tim Burton's made 3 good movies. I did enjoy Nightmare Before Christmas. He also made the 1984 Batman movie, and then, or 89, not 84, 1989 Batman movie, and then obviously everyone loves Beetlejuice. Only 3 movies.
I don't think it's a Tim Burton thing at all.
I don't think so, but it has that.
Henry Selick, director.
I'm gonna pretend I know who that is. Hey, you know who
He
I
did
do know?
Coraline. He did do Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh.
Maybe
So
he's
he branched off from that group. Coraline, which I also didn't like, is by Laika, that animation studio Laika, Laika, that did that Journey to the West style movie. They do like the puppeteer claymation type movies like Coraline.
Yeah.
I didn't care for Coraline though. I don't know. I don't like when female main characters have growth. Speaking of female characters and lack of growth, we watched the Super Mario Brothers movie, 2023, not the 1993. Kind of cool that they're 30 years apart. Unintentional.
and what a difference, I guess.
Yeah.
30 years makes. I don't know.
I
I'm
know.
not saying that in a good or bad way, just in general.
All right.
Who would have thought?
We're going to start off by just letting you know we're going to be starting with some non-spoilery stuff, and then we're going to move on to spoilers. So if for whatever reason you haven't yet seen the movie and you watched this first, some people do that. I'm sure,
I feel like it's like 1% of
of
the population. It's
But
1%
some
of the
people do that.
population.
And hey, we want to just make sure we don't piss anyone off. I don't want to say we don't want to piss off the 1%, but for this 1%, we don't want to, make you mad. So yes, we're going to talk about non-spoiler stuff. And I also want to make sure that we have this on the record. We gave in our movie ranking stuff, we gave the Super Mario Brothers 1993 movie an A rank. S is the best, but we gave it an A. And I don't regret that. I don't take it back.
Nope.
For what it was, it's a blast. It says that on my DVD. It's a blast. That's how you know it's good, when the movie says it's good. We enjoyed that movie, so we're not haters. You know what I mean? We're not going to come here and be like, oh.
If anything, I feel like we're
God.
definitely in the cult classic. I think it's a cult classic film because I think gamers, the hardcore gamer
infamous,
movie watchers,
you know what I mean?
It's infamous. Nintendo doesn't even act like it exists at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, we like that movie, so we're part of the cult classic fandom.
Maybe
for
if
it.
we saw it back in the day, I mean, it's older
Yeah.
than us, you know what I mean, by a couple of years. But maybe if we were disappointed by it, I don't even think kids were disappointed by that movie. I bet kids loved that movie.
There
Mario.
is some magic to that film.
Yeah.
And it's not a great film. You can go listen to our review, but it's not a great film.
But as far as video game movies goes, it's an A. It's an A.
It's an A ranking. But there's just some magic in that. There's some magic in it.
They had and Dennis Hopper. You know what I mean?
Right.
They have Jack Black in this one, so I can't say it's a downgrade, but they had Dennis Hopper. Any case, Super Mario Brothers movie, the Super Mario Brothers movie, aka
Full
Mario
title.
2023. We watched that. As the day of this recording, I saw it yesterday. Devin, you just came off the boat, so why don't we start with you since you're a little bit more fresh? As you slowly move to your left and stay in frame a little bit, give me your thoughts.
Sorry, I'm leaning.
You're good. You can't tell if you're in frame or not because you can't see the thing. What are your spoiler-free thoughts on the Super Mario Brothers movie? Hey, did you like it?
I'll say I soft liked it. I had fun watching it. I don't know if it's my cup of tea. That doesn't make it bad or anything like that. I just don't know if this is my kind of movie. I really don't usually watch kind of the children family animated films. I haven't seen any of the Minion movies, nor do I plan to. But I generally know what Illumination is capable of, visually at least. It visually looks really good. It looks almost a little bit different than their Minion style in the sense that it has almost a not stop motion, but that kind of like Wallace and Gromit kind of look to it, but more modern and has
like
a
there's
shine.
A texture to people when I think there are other movies, like they're smooth. Like the characters are smooth, Minions are smooth, but like the Goombas, like I have like a trailer kind of running just so I have a visual reminder of what the movie looks like. There's texture to things that like the games wouldn't, I think
there's, and I liked that element of it. There was some surprising things, or at least things that I'm glad happened in it. There's some things I guess that I just maybe didn't enjoy. I felt like the comedy was really, I missed a lot for me compared to movies like Sonic the Hedgehog. I know we're probably homers considering that's in our podcast title, but I legitimately like find Sonic movie, the first and second one, genuinely funny for the most part. 90% of the jokes. I would say it was like 50-50 for me in this film.
Interesting.
But I think it's just because I think the target audience is a little bit younger compared to like Sonic movie or even Detective Pikachu was. It's like felt that way in terms of like who they were trying to make laugh.
I think the animated aspect of it leans into that because in Detective Pikachu and the Sonic movie, you have real people who slightly older people and us obviously can lean into. I
mean, it's not fair. One of them has like one of the goats, Jim Carrey, in it. So, but to be fair, this movie has Jack Black, which I consider.
Was gonna say we also have a goat. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we have a turtle.
But you're right with it's different too with like that being fully animated versus live action. But yeah, just overall, I feel like I think it's a solid film. I think it's a good movie. It's just not. I don't think something that is for me. Like I don't think I will go out of my way to watch this again outside of if we, I don't know, ever re-review stuff on here, or if I had a kid and I wanted to put it on for them, like that's cool. Or if they wanted to watch it, that's cool. But yeah, I feel like this is more of just not for me, and that's okay. Not thinking, like I said, I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's my thing. But
interesting.
Hey, it was only an hour and 25 minutes?
It was a fast movie. Which I
Thank
both
God,
appreciated, but I also have notes about when we get further down in. I will say, first off, it sounds like, because we talked a little bit before recording here, it sounds like we had slightly different trailer sets. The end of the trailers, they did what I imagined for every version of the showing. One for an upcoming Illumination movie. And I love the way they do this, and I say that as a negative. They're like, hey, a lot of people are going to be seeing this movie. We want credit for the Mario movie specifically. So we are going to, say, we made Despicable Me and the Pets movie and the Sing movie and the Minions movie, which is also Despicable Me. And we made the Mario movie, which you're about to see. They show a clip of the movie we're about to see. And they're like, now we're going to make a movie about boring-ass ducks. Like this.
Yeah, I was
so
on my
stupid.
phone during that, so I didn't pay attention.
What? This movie looks so dumb.
I paid attention to that right at the end when like the big like heron or whatever the fuck aquatic bird looks down.
The movie looks so visually boring. But you mentioned the base stuff, their other stuff like visually. I've seen Despicable Me 1 and 2. I haven't seen any of the other movies.
You've seen the lore. You've seen the lore at least.
Lore. I will say this. We're going to talk about like the humor and all that stuff. They make animated kids movies. I don't want to say that are for kids, but there really isn't much for adults to grasp onto. I've only seen the first two Despicable Me movies, so I can't. But like from what I've known and what I've seen, what people have said, there's not much there especially with the Minions forward. I know that the first Despicable Me movie had a little bit of heart to it for parents specifically, because it is about being a parent and growing a love for
Hating
being a
your
parent.
kids,
No, because he
hating your
adopts.
kids,
And Steve Carell's
thinking
funny.
about dropping them off at the.
But we all know Illumination as the fuckos that made the Minions, and I can't stand the Minions memes and how unironically they're sharing. There's that aspect to it. And I know you can, whatever. But like, this movie looks
You
better
don't like
than
the
all of the
Facebook
movies.
memes. You don't like the
No,
Facebook memes with the
no.
one in his underwear and it says like all liberals shall die or something like that, or no one wants to work
Specifically
hard
that
anymore.
one that you're mentioning. Yeah. This is the best looking movie that they've made, and it kind of shows in their budget, because this is the highest budget they've had in a movie. This is over $100 million dollars is estimated to be their budget for the movie, highest that they've
It's a
ever
big budget.
had. And it looks it like the movie's gorgeous. Like there are some elements like we could talk about, when we get into some spoilery stuff, but like even the trailers you can see like there's a lot of busy scenes of fully rendered characters. You know what I mean? Not looping animations on that are repeated. Like there's a lot of polish to
There's
this
some depth.
movie. Yeah, it looks really good. I enjoyed it a lot. If you are one of the people who have not seen this movie and you're I don't want to get spoiled, and what did you think? I will lay it out for you like this. Have you played a Mario game before? If the answer is no, you are not going to enjoy this movie as much as anyone else that has played at least one Mario game. And then you scale it up from there. I've played all of them. So I've seen all of these references. This is how I like to describe. You watch your comic book movies, and maybe during the movie or someone online afterwards tells you, "Oh, this is a reference to that," or from this comic, and oh, like he's from a comic book, yeah, like this is a reference to that. This movie is just a hailstorm, a constant barrage of constant Mario game references.
I wasn't sure
Nintendo
how much
game
was in there.
references. It's constantly. Now, some of it is like, was it intentional or not? I don't know. Mario has to run around and jump, so he's just naturally going to be running around and jumping, and it's easy to be like, it's like in the game. But there's layers to this.
There were some like worlds that appear, I will say,
and they're in trailers. So like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
this is, Mario Odyssey's sand level. This is, this. But like the references are layered to such a degree where like obviously everyone can tell there's the power-ups. His brother's Luigi. There's the basic stuff. And like, okay,
Wait, what?
there's basic, like, I guess I should start top down. There's like, basic references you'll get, and they're in trailers and stuff. But then they go so loud, don't go so down low, where I'm like, I didn't realize this until someone said this online afterwards, where I'm like, oh, that's so cool, and I didn't even notice this, or like this is a reference to this, or certain phrasing and all like that. If you want to see Mario do some fun, cool shit, and you just like fucking Mario because he's Mario, you're gonna enjoy this movie. I know we're gonna talk about like rankings and stuff, and this is not a part of our movie draft thing, so it's not, no points are being added, but like we're still gonna give it a ranking, like a score. You know what I mean? We basically go S, A, B, C, D, E, and F. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna be in one of the lower tiers just because of how that nets out.
What would this movie have had to do to get to our racist F rank?
They would all have to be Hitlers, because the only other movie on our F tier has the Hitlers in it. So
Yeah.
If instead you've seen the trailer with Bowser in the ice place, and he does the flame breath. If he flew a plane into that, then I guess it would be an F rank instead. You know what I mean? Instead, he just.
Well,
nukes
I'll
it
say
with his
once we get
fire
to
breath.
spoilers, there's something that, just considering one of the settings is in that it made me laugh, because once again I'm going to reference something that we seem to always reference in this show.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
But
Yeah, so like, I guess
if you
I
have
can
kids,
save it.
definitely bring them to it.
See
I
it.
will say that.
Go see it. But like, I've recommended this movie to a few people and be like, hey, see this on video, because I know you don't play Mario games, but this is a fun movie and you will like it. You know what I mean? Maybe not for $18 or whatever. I have more thoughts to save for spoiler stuff, so I think we're on the same page. We recommend this movie. at least once. I would recommend it. I'm gonna see it a couple more times, maybe not in theaters, but like, there's so much going on in this movie.
Well,
That
you
I
need to
want
watch the
pause.
original first, all right? Because there's
did.
a huge lore breakdown
Yeah.
that goes into it. You know, no,
There
yeah,
are a
go see it.
couple similarities.
That is
We'll
true.
get to that. There's one right towards the beginning where I'm like, wasn't this like a plot contrivance in the 893 movie? Like, oh,
I
okay.
kind of wish, dude. I kind of wish it was just directly connected. Like that would have been so just stupidly cool. Like it would have been
Mask
like,
Off. We loved that movie. We've been hiding
yeah,
it
just
for
like
years.
yeah.
You know,
This is
we
actually
like
a
to
direct
surprise our
sequel.
players.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
We recommend this movie. Obviously, go see it or don't. I mean, it's your money.
Wait for it to come on
Yeah.
some platform. I'm sure.
Ooh, I wonder if like there'll be a way to watch it on the Switch or something. Like they'll put it on the eShop. I can see Nintendo doing that. Miyamoto.
But it's gonna be like 720p.
I mean, on the Switch itself, on the the
Yeah.
TV. Miyamoto directed 3 animated short Pikmin films
Mhm.
that were on the Wii U and the 3DS. I think they're obviously you can't buy them anymore because they closed those stores. So he was a producer on this film. We should point it out.
I could see it. Well, it's Universal, right? Who at the top is producing it. Really.
He's producing it along with the.
I'm just saying, like the
Illumination head.
company is owned by
Yeah.
Universal, right? So
I
trying
doubt
to think
it,
of. I guess
but,
that
like,
that could be an HBO Max. Would that be weird to see Mario on HBO Max? But just considering,
I mean,
everything
it's got to
else
be
is on there.
somewhere.
Yeah,
You know what I
or it's
mean?
just gonna be on Amazon, whatever.
I don't think it matters.
It'll be a Prime movie by the end of the year.
Yeah. The Steelbook is kind of boring. It's just a Mario mushroom. But then Walmart has like a tin star with the disc in it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of
It's not a real star, so I'm not even
No, it's
interested.
not. Let's get into the spoilers. We're going to talk Mario. Give me one crazy thing or one thing you want to talk about, and I'll do one too.
I want to give. So one thing I really liked about this movie was the amount of screen time they gave to our boy Luigi, and also to Peach. We had theories going into this movie. I remember. I don't know if we talked about it. I think we did one of our episodes. I don't remember. So I think we did what we want from a Mario movie. I think at some point. I don't remember.
I think we did. Yeah.
Well, we talked at some point. I remember having the conversation about like, is Peach going to be like really part of the plot? Is she going to be kind of to the side? And she is one of the main characters in it. One of the 3 main characters in it. If anything, I feel like she's more of the hero than anybody, honestly. Like Mario kind of does the big action item stuff, but she's the one that like orchestrates the plan. She does some combat stuff. She clearly knows how to handle herself in the world, and I just thought that was really cool. There was one part near the end where she's holding like the spear with the little axe on it.
A halberd, as they're called.
Yeah, waiting.
You play
for,
D&D. You should know this.
I don't give a fuck. Waiting for Bowser to come. Like she's just waiting, and like it was a cool shot of her and Toad like waiting as like Bowser's big floating island was coming down. I thought that was cool. But yeah, I just think she was really, really cool. And what's her name plays her?
Anya.
Anya Taylor-Joy, she's been in a lot of stuff that I've seen lately, and
Queen's
she's
Gambit.
awesome.
I almost said Anya.
And the menu,
Dade.
she's great in the menu as well.
Oh, is she in the menu? Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought I feel like I'm glad that they're in it because it didn't feel like just a Mario movie because the movie's called the Super Mario Brothers, so I was gonna be disappointed if Luigi's just kind of thrown to the side. I mean, I figured he wasn't going to be based off some of the trailers, but I had a feeling like it could have gone that direction if they were just like, because he was captured, right? And he's like kind of hanging out for a couple parts, but he does have some, I think, important scenes, you know, and I like that Mario's trying to save him and it's not trying to save Peach, trying not to get the girl. Like that isn't his motive. I like that it's Bowser's motive, but they make it almost super ridiculous. I like that they gave Jack Black some musical
He
things
wrote
to
that
do
song,
because
by the way.
I know,
Which is great.
I believe it. I mean, I was wondering if the when they were doing that rock concert, I wonder if that was a Tenacious D
Oh,
song, like
hmm,
an instrumental or something. I don't know if anyone knows that. Let us know in the comments.
sure.
But uh, yeah, I feel like the characters is what made me. Like I said, like I don't know if I'll watch this movie again, and maybe it's not my cup of tea because of the humor and stuff. But I feel like at least like what the characters stand for and what they do, and their motives is, I think, just really cool and wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be going in. But yeah, glad Peach is cool. Like I think Peach is like probably my favorite character in this movie, just because of all
Hmm.
the cool shit she does and how she's, uh, I don't know, she don't need no man.
I am going to be a little bit of a contrarian here on this.
Uh
First
oh,
off,
watch out,
I would
get ready.
consider myself a male feminist. You know what I mean? However, this is following in line with I think how Disney has done a lot of their live action remakes of their classic princess movies. There's a good video essayist on YouTube called Lindsay Ellis, and she was reviewed all these movies and she talks about them. And she has given a good, I feel like, definition on the mindset that Disney has gone into adapting one of their princesses from being what people assume that those characters are. Oh, damsel in distress, I changed my life for a man, etc., to what they now are, which is just female CEO girl bosses, sometimes leaning Yas Queen, sometimes leaning
Yeah,
I'm an
no, I get that.
entrepreneur, capitalism type of person. And I don't empathize, or I do empathize. Sorry, I sympathize with Nintendo on how do we adopt this character who has always just been literally a damsel in distress. Like, yes, you can play as her in Mario Brothers 2. Yes, Super Mario 3D World, you could play as her. But at the
Yeah,
same
you could
time,
be her in
like,
Mario Kart.
and Mario Kart, obviously. Um, but she doesn't really have a personality besides doing that. And like I would argue, as a man, femininity isn't a lack of personality. You don't need to have her be a girl boss in order to give her personality. And that being said, I'm not against what this character is doing. However, I also notice this, and she's not the only character that's like this. She's very paper thin. She has no faults, really. She doesn't grow at all. There is a point in the movie where Mario does the obstacle course, and it's a fun scene visually to see. And at first she does it to show him how it's done. I'm like, okay. And I had that spoiled because the Nintendo Twitter or the Mario Twitter account just tweeted that entire scene of her doing it. I'm like, all right, now I wasn't thinking she was gonna do it, whatever. We get the whole montage of him doing it, and he almost does it, but he fails, and she's, oh, we're just gonna go anyway. And they're sitting there, and she's like, oh, I mean, it took me a long time, and he's like, you did it first try, didn't you? She's like, yeah, but I grew up here. Like, they make her a little bit too cool and too badass that I don't
No,
necessarily
I get
think
that.
that like she's not that interesting. But I also sympathize the fact that she's the only woman in this damn movie. You know what I mean? Besides Mario's mom, which I will get to in a second. Um, so I'm like, but I get it.
I feel like
Like,
for a kids movie though, like what her purpose is just to be like. I feel like this movie like isn't relying too much on a character learning something or transitioning to like being the hero they need to be or whatever. Leave that for
and there are
Mario and
sequels,
Luigi.
they kind of hint at like, I
But
don't know who my parents are. Bro, they're gonna do that in the damn sequel or the threequel or the fourquel. They're not, throwing everything. I get it.
the 10 episode Peach
I'll take that. I'll watch
TV
any
show on Disney
Mario
Plus,
anything. Don't get me wrong. Like, we're not
and,
watching
and her
Sonic
and her
Prime.
backstory is
I'll
actually
watch Mario
super
Prime.
tragic. Like her parents were like political,
They were war
like
criminals.
powerhouses. They were war criminals.
Yeah.
Her
They
mother's actually Hillary Clinton.
Her father's an Israel general bombing Palestine. Um
Right. It's something just, and that's why they got
um
rid of her. Yeah.
but talking about characters need to learn and grow, they wanted to do that and something got cut. Mario feels too small. They show that metaphorically. They say that about it physically. Characters say, you're really little. But he always gets back up. And then he wins anyway. His dad, voiced by Charles Martinet, actual Mario, which I think is a cool nod. He's got his dad doesn't believe in him. Oh, that sucks. We forget about that. Donkey Kong's dad doesn't believe in him.
I was in the beginning. They're like, yeah, we all fucking hate you, and then it's just like, oh yeah, at the end, now we like you because you stopped 9/11 too. Yeah. That was the joke I wanted to talk about during the non-spoiler
Isn't
part.
The World Trade Center, the modern day version of it, like Liberty Tower or whatever, is in the movie? I think someone said that. You can see it in like a panning shot of
Damn, 9/11 happened here too.
Yeah.
You don't have to. By the way,
so it's clearly modern day.
By the way, movies. We don't have to do the 9/11 thing. You could just not show a city skyline. You showed the Brooklyn Bridge. Everyone knows the Brooklyn Bridge. All right? Maybe for like, I get it. Maybe for like the
Turning Red took place in 2002, and no one mentioned 9/11, so this movie has to.
Right.
Now Mario and Donkey Kong have daddy issues, but not really. Like I feel like that had to have been cut, and like I love a short runtime, but I wouldn't have minded an extra 15 minutes dedicated to reminders that Mario feels too small. But again, it's a kid's movie.
They should have showed it in his room. In his room there, they have the height thing when you're a kid, when you're measuring
too small
how tall
to
you
ride
are.
this ride.
Yeah.
And
I get what you're saying. I guess for me, like watching this movie and just being like, this is for kids. I just like when I'm looking for character development, yeah. I'm like, I don't care. That's why I was like, Peach is cool to me because like, out of all the characters, yeah, she just seems like she just kind of stood for like,
I totally get it.
Just being like, hey, this is my kingdom. I'm a fighter. I'm like, that's cool.
Not many.
I like your motorcycle.
Are gonna be fighting with them. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
And I like her motorcycle. She looked cool in that.
It's on the cover of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I guarantee every fucking kid that walked out of that theater that didn't own that game, asking mom and dad, can we buy Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? This was a trailer for that specific video game. Way more than way more than the brand itself. Let's talk about Bowser for a second. I know some people have some sort of discourse going on Twitter, but Bowser's a creep. And I know I looked like I was anti-feminist earlier, and I don't mean to be. I hope I came across how I meant to come across.
No, there's a difference between, to me, between
Hillary
feminism,
Clinton and
yeah. It's not like what like Elizabeth Warren tweeted a couple of weeks ago about how like it's not cool that we don't have enough women in like the war industry. She did a whole tweet about like
we shouldn't have a war industry. Yeah,
that should be the real tweet. I know the tweet was like 10 years ago there used to be 10 private military corporations, and now there's only 3, and none of them are led by women. And it's like, what the?
Remember back in the 90s when Mike Pence on his blog said that the animated Disney film Mulan was liberal propaganda to get more women in the military?
No.
And now they love that shit.
Right.
Because more boys are getting into Twitch. Some people. So I hope I came across the way I wanted to.
No, you're good.
So I also don't want to come, in this weird other way too. But like, there are people being like, "Oh, Bowser's a creep," and that's weird in 2023. I'm like, that's his character though, and I get it. Most of the time he doesn't talk, and I understand. Mario Odyssey was the last mainline Mario game where he does try to marry Peach, but he's always kidnapping this woman because he loves her. Maybe some people didn't play the Paper Mario games where it's very funny and the characters talk loud and Bowser's pretty funny, but he is just like this movie is. He is that pathetic. You know what I mean? That's what he wants. Like, it feels like classic Disney villain, like charming, like he's charming, but like it's a charming, like I liked it a lot. Yeah. I liked it a lot. Like that's what he wanted to do. And like,
he's definitely like obsessive. I wouldn't say creepy though. Creepy would be
also
like
the bad guy. You don't have to look up to the bad guy. You know what I mean?
I think it'd be more obsessive if they showed that he had
if it
like
was Mario doing it, then maybe
he had like voyeur photos of her changing or something in his room. You know what I mean? Like that would be that's creepy. Not saying
wanted
what
to
he's doing
propose
is
to her,
healthy or correct either.
but he's also
what
the
you're
bad
saying,
guy.
he's also
Like,
the bad guy.
It's okay to have that in there. Again, if Mario
Wait,
was doing
Ethan,
it, then
I can't base my entire personality off Bowser from the Super Mario Brothers 2023
dude, people do
film.
that about like Walter White and shit, and like that. He's supposed to be the main. He's the main character. He's not a good guy either, though. So people aren't media literate. But any case, yes, that activity on a real person's not good. But he's a cartoon turtle man. That variety.
He's a
wants to
dragon
say-
turtle. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Calm
exactly,
down.
Exactly. I think Jack Black was fantastic. Basically, everything he did was great. Again, he wrote that song "Peaches," I think is what it's called. Now, I texted you earlier today. Wario64 tweet out that I Am 8-Bit, the merchandise, like they're like Fan Gamer. They make a lot of cool merchandise. Like specifically, they make a lot of soundtrack, pressings and whatnot. As the soundtrack to the movie, there's a 7-inch, I think, single. They don't call it a single, but there's a 7-inch, record, and there's the regular 2-disc, vinyl collection. But the 7-inch just says Bowser on it, and I hope it's just that song, like like the uncut
like a
extended
single
version of it as a single. I would get it if it's cheap. You know what I mean? I think that'd be kind of funny to have. It just says Bowser. He was fantastic. I don't think Chris Pratt was bad. He was doing a light Brooklyn accent. So was Charlie Day.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with
And
you
they're
because I
not bad.
forgot.
I
Like halfway through, I forgot,
Yeah.
and I was trying to like pay attention because I feel like that's the easy criticism.
Right.
Do I maybe say though, if it was someone else who maybe is more Italian, played him, would that have been cooler? Maybe. But Chris Pratt, I don't think was. I don't know. Like you're saying, like it wasn't. He was fine. Like he didn't. I don't think he blew me away by any means. But like, I forgot it was him. So that's a good thing when you're a voice
You're
actor.
just that immersed in in the film that you're.
I will say but at the start though, they did like a quick thing where like they did the commercial right, and then they're like, is the accents too much? I'm like, when they showed that, I thought that was gonna be like their way of doing a cop out, being like, yeah, we know Chris Pratt doesn't sound like Italian Mario man, so we're just making a joke out of it, and like that, I thought I didn't like that at first, but then as the movie went on, I'm like, it makes more sense because it would have felt probably more.
They're from Brooklyn, not Italy.
Yeah, I think it would also been maybe almost. Yeah, I think after a while it would have been annoying.
It might have been grating because again, in the games, Mario doesn't talk that much. The most he talks, I feel like, is Mario 64, which is technically not the first role in which he speaks, but that was the one where Charles Martinet was hired. Other projects came out before they finished 64, but still 64 he talks a lot. And he's moving around and jumping and stuff, And yes, Charles Martinet was in the movie and is 2 roles that I caught. And then IMDb also told me he was immediately after the commercial. He's the guy playing Donkey Kong, where he says the accents were good. He in his Mario voice, and he's kind of dressed like how Mario is in the Donkey Kong arcade game as Jumpman. And then he's also Mario's dad. Can we talk about the fact that they gave the brothers a family? They gave them an Italian-American family, or American-Italian family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it was great.
Yeah, that was interesting. I just still wish... I just wish they showed them more because they were kind of funny, but also just awful. It's like honestly like
it's a lot of people in one apartment.
Yeah.
Now, granted, not all of them are like brothers and stuff. Like there's like an uncle, is listed on there. Probably the guy with like the hair that was like reaching over or whatever. But I like the fact that they they gave him a family, and like. I wonder how many kids walked out and be like, oh, Mario and Luigi must be kids because they have a mom and a dad that they live with. But, bro, those guys got like full-ass mustaches. They got to be like...
I mean, like, in Biden's America, dude, rent ain't getting cheaper.
I mean, again, they live in New York City, and they live in Brooklyn, so yeah. A lot,
That's what it should have been on the news, is like when he's switching the channels or whatever. It should have been
rent
like...
is too damn high, guys.
Yeah.
Giving a sermon.
Just so you know, be like, hey, kids... In like 20 years, don't be ashamed that if you're still living with your parents, because
we're a clan.
I don't blame you.
Clans stick together. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're
if you have 12 roommates in New York City, that's totally normal probably at this point.
You all share a square foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe that's why their dad was upset that they, quit a stable job because they're contributing to the rent. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean? Yeah.
They're like, rent is $5,000 a month for this
And then at the end of the
2-bedroom
movie,
apartment.
they live in the Mushroom Kingdom, where I bet Peach doesn't charge them any taxes because they help save the world. You know what I mean? That's the best.
Yeah, I don't know how they don't think they have any currency. I mean, they were hitting the coin
coins.
thing, but like,
Those
but that
motherfuckers
wasn't.
were
I didn't see
big.
anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Listen,
Yeah,
when we start dissecting the government of the Mushroom Kingdom, then we probably have issues. So we're just gonna keep it peachy keen.
I would argue
intended.
I have to look more into it because it could be feudalism, which is still bad. We gotta look into it more. I don't know. If
There was a lot of
Peach-
capitalism going on down there. I feel like there's a lot of money exchanging hands. It's hard to be feudalistic when you're able to accumulate a lot of wealth. But that being said, she is quite literally above all of them, very high up.
Yeah,
You know
there's
what I
some
mean?
hierarchy still in there for sure.
I mean, like physically, the castle's up on a hill. But,
yeah, yeah. So her. Yeah, I'm just saying there's some feudalism vibes. Is what I'm gonna
sure.
For the obvious reasons.
But in capitalism,
And I
we
don't know,
love
Bowser
good kings
has a
and queens.
party constantly for his army, and it's like,
Yeah. I don't know.
I will say, out of all the worlds I want to live in,
He doesn't abuse them.
this
He's a good guy.
is the spooky world there. That spooky world with all the creepy trees and stuff.
Yeah,
That's where I want to
with
be.
their boy Dry Bones and the Shy Guys.
Yeah, make me a dry
was great.
bone, and I'm just me and the homies in the haunted forest forever.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Just chilling, vibing. Before I guess we start, going, I guess, vaguely scene by scene, or just maybe section by section, we have one more main character? I guess a couple. We have a couple, actually, to talk about. But I want to talk about, I want to say the biggest letdown of this movie, but a confusing one. Toad. They had to
like
have
him?
cut shit.
Wasn't it enough for you, or
they could have removed this dude and nothing would have changed. Sure, Mario would have had to find the princess at the beginning of the movie somehow, but let me put it this way. When we got our first look at the movie and we see the Bowser stuff with the ice place first, and then we cut to Mario in the trailer stuff come out of the pipe, and he's like, "Where am I?" And he touches a mushroom or is about
Where am I?
and Toad comes up and says, "Don't touch that mushroom or you'll die." Oh, I'm sorry, this is a good one. And then obviously the trailer cuts to them, going. I was under the impression that was not them meeting for the first time. Somehow Toad, with the backpack and the adventuring kind of gear, maybe he led Mario through the pipe. Your brother is lost. I know where. Follow me. Somehow. And then, but no, they just meet that way. And then we just need to go to see the princess.
He was like a weird comedic relief kind of thing, but the whole movie's comedy, so there's no need for.
He didn't even need to be there. Let me say more. So as they're going, and he's not everyone knows him. He knows a couple people. He's got a couple friends, but they're going through a busy place, and he's like, "Everyone, step away! This guy's brother's gonna die." No, I'm just kidding, haha. And they're moving through, and they're he's talking about the castle, and they're going up there, and I'm thinking to myself, there's got to be something with this dude. They have to have some sort of. It doesn't need to have a character development.
I
growth,
thought maybe at
obviously.
first he was going to be connected to Peach in some way, he's a liege for her or something.
My thought was that they were going to show up and that they were the people there, the Toads, or even Peach herself is going to be "I thought we told you to leave." I got the impression this guy was going to be he knows. He's I feel it's a bit of a trope. He's the side character that knows so much about the thing, and that's because he really wanted to be it, and he sucks so bad, and they kicked him out. That's what I thought it was going to be. No, he just brings them to there, and they're just "Yeah, you want to come too? Who are you?" "Oh, I'm a Toad. My name's Toad. And we're gonna go." I don't know. I felt granted, there's a lot of characters in this movie, but
no, I get that.
Again,
and it sucks because I liked
but
him when he does stuff, but yeah, I feel like he kind of just appears and then disappears, and he needed more things to do or
they did
have some
allow
sort of
him
save
to,
the day minute.
He wanted to do
something.
that. All the other Toads are, they were told to evacuate, but they're all scared. He's not. And he wanted.
He said he was going to protect her,
and he meant it.
But he didn't really. But he didn't really do anything to protect her.
He meant it though.
Yeah,
he's got heart. I get it. Whatever. Let's talk about Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong. I also did not dislike this. I thought I was going to. I thought I was going to hate his Donkey Kong. I liked that he was a bit of a high dad, like he just wants to show off to his dad, Cranky Kong, who's a king, I guess, in this movie.
I
But
didn't
I
like
did not
that.
just. That's
I
not
think
the
Donkey
lore.
Kong should be king.
Not the lore. I don't think they should eat. None of them should be king. Donkey Kong lives in a shack
If there was a
on a
king,
beach.
I watched all the Planet of the Apes movies before this in preparation.
Yeah.
Caesar is supposed to be the king, all right? So I don't know who this Cranky Kong guy is and who he thinks he
Hey,
is.
Cranky Kong's from Donkey Kong Country. He does not sound like that. He just sounds like an
I
old
know.
man. Um,
And there was Cool Kong too, wasn't there?
no, Funky
Whatever
Kong.
his name is. Funky Kong, yeah.
Funky Kong was not the dude at the beginning, the bouncer.
It felt like a weird
It was just
version.
a dude in a sports coat. I don't know. It was weird.
I'm calling him Cool Kong.
You can call him Cool Kong. There was Diddy Kong. There was Dixie Kong. They were in the stands. Cranky Kong literally calls Diddy Kong out, so that the audience knows that that's Diddy Kong. I think that'd be cool if they were just
Right.
cameos. Because here's the thing: we're gonna talk about like potential sequel stuff. They're gonna do a Donkey Kong movie. You know what I mean? We're gonna get.
I
all
think
these
so. They showed
Kongs.
way too much for it not to be like at
Yeah.
least thought of. You know what I mean? To at least be considered.
Absolutely.
Because I did like their world. It seemed pretty
Yeah.
goofy and
They messed
fun,
up.
But
They called it Jungle Land. They fucking should have just called it Kong Country. They fucked up. Unless they're gonna, go to somewhere
Jungle.
else and have this unexplored area become Kong Country. I don't know. They fucked up. Yeah, I mean, I did not dislike Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong.
I
doesn't do
also missed
voices.
opportunity to do because they did some Donkey Kong. I think not music, but they did do like the original Mario or Donkey Kong game music, right?
Yeah.
I think during their fight. I wish they did aquatic ambience when they were eaten
Somewhere.
or something.
Oh,
from that fish.
underwater. Yeah.
Just like the melody
little
there
bit.
for
Just a little
just
bit,
a little
yeah.
tease for Devin. All right.
Well, that's the thing. Like this
Um,
movie just is. They're just zipping through quick.
There was a little. It was a little
melodies.
too
There's a
quick at
lot.
moments.
Yeah.
I just think in general, I think that's my other thing is that the movie's an hour and 20 minutes, and I'm glad, and I get it. Kids' attention spans are way less than they were when we were kids. I'm not saying it's bad or whatever, but just it is what it is. So I get like they have to keep it moving and not dwell on one location too much. But I did feel like it jumped a little bit too much for me and at too quick of a rate, and I just wish they slowed it down just a tad.
Yeah. I won't disagree with that.
Because I really I wanted to spend more time in the our Kong country there.
I honestly didn't though. I feel like you wanted to make a Mario movie, and now it's also a Donkey Kong movie, and it's also a Mario Kart advertisement movie. I feel like there was a lot
I
going
don't know.
on.
I'm just
with
I
the
like
movie.
my Donkey Kong, so
Sure.
that's me selfishly.
You're
Like I
gonna
want
get a
more of
Donkey
it.
Kong movie.
Yeah,
You're
but
gonna
yeah, I
get
think Donkey Kong was fine. Seth Rogen was fine. I don't think
Again,
Seth Rogen is a
there's
bad actor or
lots
anything,
of-
but
there's
just-
lots of like references and stuff, and when Donkey Kong and Mario are fighting, they're doing Smash Brothers moves. Donkey Kong did his clap at one point. Sorry for the audio. I don't know why I did that. Like there's a lot of stuff there. Like they didn't just do Mario game references and behaviors. They did Donkey Kong ones too, which is cool. I like that. Now,
I know. I just feel like Donkey Kong is a voice for me. Like I said, I don't think Seth Rogen is bad in this or for this, but my version of Donkey Kong is like a deeper. I don't know. I just think of gorillas and stuff to be. This is before me watching all the Planet of the Apes movies recently. Just in general, I think
Sure.
of like gorillas have deep voices, and stuff. I kind of wish like he just did like kind of a deeper voice, like be like, "Oh, I'm Donkey Kong," like something like that.
yeah, Mike Myers.
I,
is
let me
Donkey Kong.
let me be Donkey Kong next time.
Okay,
All right.
let him be Donkey Kong. You get yourself a Spirit Halloween Donkey Kong outfit. You know what I mean? And you can audition.
We can
for
do
the
a
live
Halloween
action.
episode.
You
yeah.
can be the stage play, rendition of the movie version of Donkey Kong.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
mean, I thought it was solid, but I just want a little more. And I didn't like Cranky Kong as a king. I don't know. That's not the lore to me.
I didn't like his voice. It didn't sound like that.
Yeah, Cranky has to sound more like
An old fucking man
You're-
who's cranky, not just like a,
yeah,
couldn't be
like
bothered
get on my
dude.
lawn.
Yeah, I don't know, weird,
Slightly
Weird.
southern, maybe.
something. I don't know.
I'm born in Louisiana.
Yeah.
I'm
I
cranky
think
Kong.
his voice needs to be so crackly, you know. I did like that they had to help him into his cart, you know, because he's that old. I thought that was fun.
Donkey Kong, go down there in the bayou and go get
Okay,
them
now hold on.
crawdads.
You're going into some dicey territory there with that voice and the things you're saying. Um, I don't want to go into each reference, you know what I mean? And there's some that I missed, but a couple that I want to point out that I find are very cool. So we didn't talk about the beginning where Mario and Luigi get a job to go do the plumbing thing, and the van doesn't work. I'm pretty sure that was also a problem in the '93 movie. Their van didn't work, right? Am I wrong? I could have sworn like,
Maybe
oh man, like they need money to fix the van. Like, don't they push the van in the movie?
Isn't the frickin' how they get to the world also like in a deep sewer somewhere?
I feel like that's probably just what they were gonna do, you know. But in any case, the van doesn't work, so they go running. Someone said this online. Obviously it's a 2D thing. I thought it was pretty cool. You know, again, Mario's helping his brother by unlocking the gate doors and stuff. Vaguely recreates the first level in Mario Brothers. That whole kind of segment. Vaguely. Like certain placements on stuff fit exactly. I'm like, that's a neat reference that went over my head. I liked that the pizzeria was Punch-Out themed. Another Miyamoto game. Obviously there's Donkey Kong cabinet and Charles Martinet is playing it, you know, sitting there in the back corner. Mario is playing Kid Icarus on his Nintendo Entertainment System. How many Japanese people are low-key upset that it's a Nintendo Entertainment System and not the Famicom? You know, it's the American version of the console, but it's in Brooklyn. It's
in Brooklyn.
They're plumbers from Brooklyn. Something I don't think Nintendo has acknowledged since the 90s. This is the thing still, you know, and I'm glad that they did that.
How about the Mets?
Absolutely.
Missed opportunity.
Absolutely.
Or they took our Dodgers. That they should have had one of the older people in the family be like, can't believe, I'm still mad they took our Dodgers.
But they would have to
like he was born in
somehow
1930.
in universe, but in a way that it's still like you could still, if you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it was like maybe on the TV, like they're switching the channels and I don't know. The Mets suck as normal, and then they're like, and then the Dodgers are still good, huh? Something like that. Yeah.
You know, there's lots of art references and Mario jumps like this game.
One reference we didn't get though is
blah.
Olympics.
Yeah, you're right. There was no Sonic there for him to you know, that's what they should have done. I mean, that's the ultimate crossover of the video game movies isn't Smash Brothers. It's Mario and Sonic go to the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. You know what I mean? Or the Beijing ones from 2008 or the Rio from 2016.
I like the idea too that it's just like the Nickelodeon TV shows the kid that like it's just that animated Mario in live action, but they still think he's a human. I know it'd be awful, but like it'd be kind of funny though. But then no one else treats him doesn't treat him as a cartoon.
Exactly.
I think that'd be funny. That like he's clearly like not visually the same, and they're like, "Oh, where are you from? Brooklyn."
Like how Muppets and Sesame Street, you know, characters are like they don't acknowledge that they don't, you know, they're just people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I would be like, "Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn." I'd be like, "Oh, okay."
How old were you when you realized that there's a man inside Big Bird's suit? Like a full man is walking around there. Because I feel like early on you could figure out, you know, Elmo and Cookie Monster are hands.
I don't know. I don't think I really thought about it. I mean, for me, it was more like Godzilla as a kid because, you know, watching those, it wasn't until I was like, you know, 5 or 6 or whatever. I'm like, how did they make these physically? Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, it's dudes,
tiny sets and man in a rubber costume.
Yeah.
That's what actually they did for this movie. That was Chris Pratt in a rubber It's
impressive.
It's expensive. It's $100 million.
It's all cosmetics. It was all cosmetics. Actually, nothing in this was animated. This is all real practical sets.
Exactly. Speaking about the totally real practical effects, some of the gorgeous stuff in this movie, obviously Rainbow Road is a highlight. But like when Mario and Donkey Kong are floating in the water, and you could see bits of the Rainbow Road like submerged, sinking, and they're like refracting all that light upwards. So beautiful.
There's some
Very
good ray
good.
tracing there.
I mean, I know you say it as a joke, but that tech is used in these animated movies. That's what they do. You know what I mean? And obviously, it looks really good.
My
it's all
AMC was
offline.
running on the
On a-
newest
yeah,
GTX
on a
4010 or whatever.
2090. You know. Well, no, I mean it's not running in real time.
Could
so
you
obviously
imagine?
They can render.
Could you
out
imagine in the
frame by
future
frame.
they have theaters that are just running on different processing
It's all
hardware? They're
the
like,
movies are run in real time. They're not rendered. They're all running in real time.
actually, that's I don't even want to
That'd be
joke now
cool.
because like no, it wouldn't. Because you know what's gonna be funding that? It's gonna be freaking AI. All the movies are gonna be fucking AI films. We're gonna be seeing it, and it's gonna be running in real time because it's gonna be made up on the spot.
Bro,
We're gonna be like,
I know we're about to see Shrek 6. I modded that shit. I took all their clothes off. I modded the projector.
yo, they have no idea, dude.
Yeah.
No, I could see it being like, I want to see a movie starring Tom Cruise. Like you could be like starring Tom Cruise, and it's a Mission Impossible like, but it's not Mission Impossible. Like you could like, I could see that being like that's my fear of mine, that you like you can have your own private theater kind of thing. You go in and be
Well,
like,
did you see that
I
really
want
ugly
this actor.
AI anime
Bob-
thing?
Yeah.
Which isn't. It's just basically an Instagram filter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw that. I'm like, bro, this ain't the future of anime. One of you motherfuckers jump for me right now. Do it. Do an anime jump. No, you can't. You can't fly like fucking Goku in real life, so you're not going to make it look like that. You're just
You
screaming.
can't take a beam. You can't take a beam through a
You
chest.
can't take a beam. You can't take even the smallest of beams. Fuckers. Don't besmirch.
You can't grow a monkey tail.
Don't fucking besmirch Goku like that. God damn. And the best part is all the art stuff was ripped off of an actual anime. So
Right. What I'm saying is, like, in the future, that's my fear. It'd be like,
Ugh.
oh, this actor who's long dead, but like I could, or an actor I've always wanted to see a role. I want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger in,
as one of the
like,
members of the Blue Man Group. in
Yeah.
the movie.
Okay. Done.
Yeah, there
Here's
we
a 2.5 hour film that we made as we go.
go. Eesh. Hey, when that
You pay
happens, then we're
how
gonna be
much
looking
money?
back at this movie and be like, man, the story, the depth, and the character growth compared to just like the character growth in these AI movies is literally growing fingers because it's just
Our favorite actor though, she could actually start doing more films. What's her name from Spirits?
from Spirits Within. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because then we could be like, I want more of her.
Hey, the
Put her-
voice
put
actor
her in the next movie.
Well, I guess the actor that voiced her is still alive too. You know, Ming-Na Wen. So they could do it. They can do it. AI aside, obviously this movie looked very good. We get to a part after the Rainbow Road stuff where I'm like, oh, I don't know what direction they're going with in this movie. Like where they're going next, because this is basically where I imagine the latest part of the movie from the trailers we had seen, you know what I mean? But then it's just, okay, Bowser comes with his giant thing. Don't laugh. And don't laugh. And, you know, it's time for the wedding. Just don't laugh. I did laugh when I think it was Kamek or just someone comes into all the prisoners and says, you're all invited to the wedding to be ritually sacrificed. I legitimately had a laugh of that because I'm like, that's fucked up.
I
You know
did
what
like
mean?
the star, that little star. dude.
They're called Lumas. They are from Mario Galaxy. That is a kid from one of the people that works in the movie, I guess is like a kid.
Damn.
One of their kids.
He had, I think, like I said, like most of the jokes were 50-50 for me. 90% of what that star said was funny.
Yeah. Sweet release of death. And the fact that they just kept doing that too. Like I could have
like, it
sworn
wasn't
like,
even
what
a
we
one
saw
time-
in the trailer was probably the extent of it. Like no, they just kept doing more. That little motherfucker opens our credits. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they knew that they liked that little guy.
Yeah.
Now here's my little theory.
Yeah.
Here's my theory. This is how it works in some of this stuff. You know, granted they might have known with this character, but oftentimes maybe they're so far in the weeds, they don't know what part of the movie the audiences are going to grasp onto the most. And then when a sequel comes around, especially for one of these animated movies where maybe they don't really have a necessarily a big story planned out for multiple movies where like they're just gonna go beat by beat. A lot of animated movies. There was a Trolls movie. I didn't realize they're still making those. That's definitely in line of like, all right, what are we gonna do for the next one? We can make money on it. Long Lost Brother. I've watched that trailer. You know what I mean? I haven't seen the others. I can tell.
Yeah, it's
So
kind of like
here's
what
my
another
thing.
franchise has done, Fast and Furious.
Probably. I mean, honestly, don't honestly.
I'm joking, but it's
honestly, yeah. Here's my theory. Uh, Eventually, they're gonna do Mario Galaxy stuff in one of these sequels, and like Rosalina, who's like the princess with like the light blue dress or whatever,
true.
um, way more popular than I feel like the character has done stuff to earn it. But I think just people want to have like some Mario characters. All those Lumas are like her children, and I can see a joke coming off being like whether she says it or one of the other Lumas says like points out that specific one from this movie and says that guy's fucked up. Like we kicked that dude out or he ran away. This guy's a little strange. None of us are like
Or
that.
all of them are like that. All of them are really depressed
That would be
because
even more funny.
because she's like a
She
goth
sucks.
actually.
She's like well she has like the one bang, you know, some anime
Yeah.
characters do the one bang that goes over one eye all the time, you know.
Yeah. I wish I was that cool.
You can.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Maybe one
I mean,
day.
grow the front out a little bit more and you can do it, you know. Or just
I'm
here's what you
gonna do that when
Go
I'm
to
like
the barber,
50, when
have
I'm
them
way too
shave
old to be
the whole
doing
thing off, turn it into a weave, but just turn it around.
it. Just turn it around
Then you have bangs, you know,
and dye it black, and then go to like coffee shops and just sit in the corner
and read poetry.
and read poetry.
Yeah,
And it has to be raining outside. It's the only time I go to the coffee shop.
absolutely. No umbrella. Well, you have an
No
umbrella.
umbrella.
You don't use it. You have an umbrella.
It's in the
you don't use
trunk. It's in the trunk. It's for really rainy days. This
Yeah,
is like a
yeah.
light drizzle.
I want to keep talking about this movie. What is there anything else you want to bring up? I feel like we've kind of hit a lot of the major parts, unless I'm forgetting stuff. I did think it. I will. Okay, while you're thinking, just say this weird. I thought it was a little strange that as Mario's being chased by the giant bullet bill, his one plan is, oh, I'll send it back to Brooklyn. Like I'm sitting there being like,
I thought it was gonna blow it up the pipe, and then he couldn't go back home. But they were
and
like,
then,
"We
hey,
like
that's
it
a
here
sequel
anyways."
idea. That's a sequel idea. How do we get home? Or I don't know. Yeah.
Instead of Escape from New York, it's Return to New York.
Oh well,
They
they
just call it Return to New York.
It's very weird. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, no, he sends it through the pipe. Like I thought it was just going to go back
9/11.
in 9/11.
He's a terrorist.
Yeah,
Honestly, for the United States like government, I think he's a domestic terrorist. If I was them,
even
I
if
would,
you save the day,
considering everything else that
Yeah.
how they view domestic terrorism in this country, you doing that, you're the top of the like CIA's most wanted.
there, I saw on Twitter today.
Even if you saved the day afterwards, you did it. You brought
well,
the.
we suck as a country. Yes. I
Well,
saw-
I'm saying is Mario brought it.
Oh yeah.
He caused the problem, but
I
then
mean, that's
fixed the problem. People died.
Yeah. Bowser
And then they're like, "Yay!"
smashed cars.
Like, no, do they know? Like, when would they admit that? Like, fuck, we did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're in Peach's world because the cops are after them.
Yeah.
The cops and the feds.
And they're low key racist. Like, it has to be your son, right? And the family's like, what? Just because we're Italian, you think that they belong to us? we haven't been claiming them on our taxes. No, we suck as a country. I saw a tweet today. This woman's kid got arrested because he shared a meme of a fat sleeping cop that says, for like the cops waiting for the school shooter to kill himself before they go in. Like, and the kid got arrested for sharing that meme around. It was funny. It was a funny picture. I don't know. I'm just saying. And since Ron DeSantis is Florida's crybabies, they arrested the kid over that.
Meatball Ron.
Yep. Or Rob. Just call him Rob. R-O-B.
That's what. Yeah,
I feel
Trump
like
called
that's
him
even
Rob,
more.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's crazy that Trump Tower is also in the sky. No, I'm kidding. Well, that would have been funny.
If anything, it was the biggest. They showed it was the biggest.
Yep. Now I have the biggest building.
On the news, actually, was Trump getting indicted.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it really topical.
This movie had a lot of stuff where I wanted to pause and look at it, just because there were references
There's a
again
lot-
that
there's a
I
lot.
heard that were said, like visual references that I wanted to catch. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know, I really like this movie, man. I don't know. We're gonna, I guess, talk about our rankings. Did you have anything you wanted to bring up?
I
Or
think
do
that
we
was
feel
really
like we
it.
covered everything?
I don't know if I went to a Dolby theater, and I feel like the music could have been a little louder at moments. I feel like the mix needed to be a little better for me. I don't know if it's just my version, but I've seen other movies in that theater that are loud and like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I went from John Wick 4 to this.
Oh yeah, I can
Where
see
that movie
I didn't
is
see
like
that movie, but
pop,
I
pop,
can
pop,
tell.
pop, 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 and you can feel it
Playing the whole time in the background. Hey man, this the Dolby screen that I saw the movie on is the only one in the AMC that I see, because they only have the one in my AMC.
Yeah.
Still has flickering in one section of the screen. Then
Somebody
it'll
just
just
fix
like
that.
blue.
They're not running on the new AMDs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's been a couple years since I've first saw stuff there. No one complained.
But yeah, I wanted it to be a little louder.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for the kids, they had to turn on the decibels because their ears are still fresh. They don't want to
True.
destroy them until
Well, you'll
they're
get the
25.
director's cut. Ooh, maybe they'll do a Miyamoto cut. That's what they'll call it, the Miyamoto cut. I'm actually surprised he didn't force himself into the movie as a cameo. I could have totally seen him.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's a toad.
Maybe he was.
He goes, ah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
That's
like, I don't necessarily
Maybe he's-
think that he's like super full of himself, but like when they have
Maybe he's in the
dad,
background somewhere.
I don't
Maybe
know,
he's in
he's
like
called
a
himself Mario's dad before.
He's in like a
So-
window or something when they're passing a building or something.
Maybe in like the
Maybe
Japanese
he's
dub
getting a
version, he
coffee.
voices someone. No.
I could see that maybe.
The credits I thought were kind of cool, but obviously, if you like the thing.
Oh,
you're gonna
that's
like
one
the
last thing.
reference.
The ending credits. This is just me.
Oh yeah.
Probably the only one who probably thought of this. So it's Yoshi, right? But going back to Brooklyn, there's another movie that had a dinosaur egg. If anything, a lot of dinosaur eggs in it. Godzilla, the 1998 TriStar film, had a bunch of the dinosaur eggs, the Godzilla eggs, and I kind of wish instead they're like, "Oh, you think it's Yoshi?" No, it's one of the little baby Godzillas, and they're like, "Oh, this is a tie-in to the 1998 film. This actually takes place before."
You know what it's going to be instead? The Yoshi from the '93 movie. Fucking raptor looking bitch.
Yeah, it's just
Here's
a
the thing.
I'm telling you, just a dinosaur.
Here's the thing. Very boring post-credit tease. And I get like Mario
It's
and
Shadow.
Yoshi.
They should just do the Shadow the Hedgehog cutscene.
They did it again.
Not the cutscene, but the ending from Sonic. Just do straight cut. Just like, wait, what? Is this the same movie?
Best part, it starts mid-scene, like it's not cut well, It teasing
It looks like it's
Yoshi's-
recorded on a camcorder.
Yeah, one of those bootleg versions where like if you try to watch the movie now, bootleg it now, when no one really has a good rip of it and it's just the camcorder. No. On a serious note here, the post-credit thing teasing Yoshi's weird and boring. Maybe if they didn't already show Yoshi's in the movie, then I guess it would be like, oh, it's gonna be cool. What does he look like? But they showed Yoshi's. They were walking and there was a herd of them running in the background.
Yeah,
like the Smash Brothers Melee intro. That's what that's a reference to. Is all the multicolored Yoshis running by. I stampede of Yoshis. They're free.
I was kind of
before Mario
cool.
controls them.
The white man came.
I know you don't really play a lot of Mario games, and I don't know if you've played any of the 2D ones that have Yoshi in it. But you can jump off Yoshi mid-jump to gain extra height, and then you drop him into a pit to save yourself.
Yeah, Mario's
He
awful.
does that. Yeah, he's not fun.
He's a colonizer. He's
Exactly.
always has been.
Exactly. He goes to Yoshi's Island. Oh, by the way, speaking about Yoshi's Island, Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, I was also not expecting that, and Baby Peach, looking like the way they do, with with just pupils, you know what I mean, instead of eyes. There's a reason why.
No wonder he was bullied.
I was gonna say there was a reason why the bully kid had sunglasses on, because they didn't want to have to draw someone with normal eyes. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. That's why you got picked on, really.
Yeah, yeah. Fucking Luigi.
You literally just have shark eyes instead of.
I thought Luigi was good. Kind of weird that it's the Super Mario Brothers movie, but it's not the two of them doing stuff together. But I get it. It's the first one. I'm not. That's a goofy nitpick.
I wish they kept the mansion for like Luigi's mansion. Like
they can argue that that's not the mansion. You know what I mean? That's just mansion. That's a keep, an abandoned keep in the Darklands.
If they were to do like House on Haunted Hill again, he can be in that.
Ooh, yeah, the haunting, or I thought you were talking like the haunting of Hill House stuff, but the
Something
haunting of Luigi's Mansion. There's your next tie-in. They get that.
But
that
once
crew.
again, back to the Mario being from Brooklyn, but everyone acts like he's like a normal person.
Yeah,
I want that, but it's Luigi with regular human beings.
Do you think Luigi will actually get his own movie?
No,
probably not. I don't think so.
Because Mario once again gets all the credit when he didn't do shit.
Here's my thing.
He bombed Manhattan. He bombed Brooklyn.
So did his brother. He was also there and implicated.
Not really. He didn't want to be there.
The two of them together grabbed the invincibility star and just wrecking ball through things.
Then Luigi cleaned up Mario's mess.
I'm not gonna argue that. Let's talk about the future a little bit here, and we could, I guess, save this for an episode in the future, but we can just do it now. My prediction is they're not going to do an MCU thing of just constantly, all right, production, next movie. I see them going slow and steady, one at a time, even slower than Sonic. I don't expect a sequel to this movie being 2 years. I expect it to be slower than that. Animation's, you could argue maybe it takes longer than what Sonic. I don't know. I don't really know how it works. I'm talking out of my ass here. But also, like, I think we're kind of, as both a culture, I hate that I phrased culture when we're going to talk about Marvel movies here. I already regret saying that. I regret it. But the film industry, I feel like, has so much burnout over the constant MCU and superhero movies.
It's time to end franchises.
And the fact that, like, it's one big plan that needs 20 movies, and they need to go exactly how I fucking say they're gonna go. As the producer, Kevin Feige, I'm not saying he's a tyrant or anything like that, but just that it needs to work out. Hey, Jonathan Majors was arrested on alleged, domestic violence charges. Like, if that's true, fuck that guy. He's a great actor, but fuck that guy. And I already bet Disney's fucking fuming because he's supposed to be their next Thanos. You know what I mean? We can't have these fuck ups. You know what I mean? This screw ups.
Yeah, that's what happens when you put all this stuff onto one person or one character.
Yeah. Not saying that they're all like you roll the dice when you do.
I mean, let's be real though. DC's still rolling out the Flash movie,
right?
Which is going to tank.
They basically
not even Michael Keaton's going to save that film, in my opinion.
No. They basically told them, like, hey, stay out of the news and we'll let you be a part of the promotion for the film. Urza Miller got softballed, a pity. Like, we already filmed this. We don't want to lose any money.
But hey, we're going to get rid of the
Batgirl.
We're going to get rid of the Batgirl movie, though. Put that in theaters instead. Can this one.
We'll say
Michael Keaton just being that. Whatever.
I will not be seeing the Blue Beetle movie probably at all, but his costume is real.
Wow,
like Power Rangers.
They finally they got a real suit finally again.
It's for all it's not like the technology's real or anything like that, but it's like Super Sentai, Power Rangers, like Spider-Man. It's a mask. It's a real thing. He looks real. It's not just like digitally coming on. You know what I mean? I'm sure they do a transition like that at some point. But it's a real mask. I'm just props to that. I'm not going to see that movie. It looks really bad, but
just like Mario, it was real.
He was real the whole time. But I can see industry burnout and just the fear of committing to something big like that. And knowing Nintendo, I joked in a text to you, and other people have made this joke. I get it. I'm not original here. But I'm surprised Nintendo didn't send themselves a cease and desist letter being like, wait a second, there's a Mario movie. You can't do that. Just not realizing it's themselves, because that's how litigious Nintendo is. They will go after your ass for suggesting.
I think maybe in like 4 years you're gonna get I don't know what the sequel will be. I think they could either do a let's expand on the Peach stuff,
They can do whatever they want.
or it's just a
it'll be
sequel, whatever.
Because they don't really set up too much, and like that's fine. We don't need setups. I'm disappointed by the Yoshi tease because they felt they needed to do something, which in and of itself, I mean, I guess I could be surprised.
The
Nintendo
Yoshis
even
are
did
gonna
something at all.
overrun Brooklyn, and it's just
Yeah.
gonna be Jurassic Park Dominion.
That would be fun. Chris,
Sorry,
Pratt's
Jurassic
like,
World. Sorry.
he's clicking.
Yo, it'd be funny if Chris. Okay, hold on. It'd be funny if we get. They're like, yeah, we weren't gonna do another Jurassic World movie after this one, but
I mean, it's Universal.
we did not say it won't tie into something else.
It's
and then they're
Universal.
like Chris
They own
Pratt.
it.
Yeah, Chris Pratt is playing his character in Jurassic World, and then you have him as Mario.
Yeah.
But then they're fighting dinosaurs together.
Yeah.
And he's like blue.
And it's a blue Yoshi. He's doing it too. You know,
Yeah.
like one of the light blue.
He's teaching Mario how to do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's talk about the music. Obviously, the musical score and all that's great. I forget his name, but the composer. Obviously, I'm not talking about Koji Kondo. Famous Nintendo composer, was a part of doing this. Worked with like the main soundtrack dude. But I forget his name. I think his name is Kirk or Grant Pope or something like that. Video game composer, worked on a lot of Rare games, including Donkey Kong 64, and he did the DK rap, and that was featured. It was sampled for Donkey Kong's
I heard
intro.
about that.
Basically, just the Donkey Kong thing repeated. He's not credited in the movie in the credits at all, even though he wrote that part. He wasn't a part of the movie, but he wrote that. But Nintendo owns it, so it's just all music owned by Nintendo type of thing. That sucks, number one. But I'm not surprised Nintendo does that. They're kind of in the we own it, so we own it type of phase, like mentality. Let's talk about the licensed music. I was surprised that it existed at all, to be fair.
That's what makes you think that soundtrack you were talking about, earlier. I wonder if it's going to have some of those songs on there.
I don't think
because it's part of the soundtrack.
I haven't listened to any movie soundtracks besides the Tron Legacy one because Daft Punk did it. You know what I mean?
Because there's movie soundtracks typically
so I don't know
have
if they do that.
Everything in it. So
including the licensed stuff.
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, well, I mean maybe. I don't know. I thought it was weird. I feel like a lot of them were just like people recognize these. They were just like people recognize these songs. We're gonna have Take On Me.
It felt a little weird
Mr.
because
Blue
they had the
Sky.
regular. They had the recomposed Nintendo themes, right? And then whatever you want to call it. But then it felt a little out there when there's like not actual, but you know what I mean? Like 90s pop songs and stuff in it, like
weird.
I mean, they freaking pulled. They tried to copy one of the goated films, Shrek 2, and they had one of the Shrek 2 songs in there. I Need a Hero. Like seriously, you'll never do it better than when the ending of Shrek 2, when human Shrek is riding on the back of giant gingerbread man, and the song's playing because the evil fairy lady is singing it. Yeah, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. So I find that disrespectful. Oh, I forgot. Who does that.
Is it? For whatever reason, my brain jumped to Elaine from Seinfeld,
2,
Julia Louis-Dreyfus. But did you hear the Shrek news, by the way?
Yeah, we're gonna be eaten soon.
And it's this studio, Illumination's making Shrek 5. I
It's,
never saw Shrek 4.
Fairy godmother's Jennifer Saunders.
Oh, never mind then. Shrek. Who would've
She's
thunk
actually
it?
in Minions.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I need to catch up because I didn't watch any of the Puss in Boot movies, and I heard the last Puss in Boots movie was like really good.
I didn't
So I
watch
need to
either
catch
of
up on
those
the
two.
lore.
I didn't watch
So
Shrek
once
4,
Shrek 6, like trailers are coming out, that's when I'm gonna catch up.
Shrek 5.
When Shrek's 5 or
PS5,
whatever,
Shrek
then
5. A green PS5 with Shrek ears. Mario movie.
Donkey.
Okay.
Mario.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
I heard a
You know,
lot about you.
Donkey Kong was the movie that like started the trend of having famous people voice characters in movies. Like Robin Williams was like the first, but like
Mhm.
Shrek was the one where it was like the trailers were like, and it's Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy and
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz and a couple other people as well. Yeah, that was that movie. Let's rank this movie, Super Mario Brothers.
Hmm.
I'm gonna begin. This is tough for me. On the one hand, and so we have our rankings. Uh, Basically, like I said at the top of the show, S, A, B, C, D, E, F. Basic, obviously, top to bottom. We also do other video game movie reviews, so if you vaguely enjoyed this, you might enjoy the other ones more, or less. I don't know. Give them a shot. Where we're doing, any new movies like this, we're not going to put them into a points thing, but we have a draft going on where like Dev and I are competing over our own opinions on the movies, and they get points off of them.
Basically.
They're tied into this tier ranking, so we're not ranking every movie in a list like we did with the Chronicles of Diesel, but we're just giving them bracketed tiers. All the A's are equal enough in our book. Some we might like some more than others. I would argue I
Yeah.
think Street Fighter is better than the Super Mario Brothers movie, but they're both A's, so that's that. You know what I mean? Basically, to talk it up from bottom to top, F is for the really deranged, like offensive shit. Probably nothing's gonna go in there really that we're gonna watch. E is for the why do they make this movie? This is very boring. There's really nothing redeemable about it. It's just bad. D is for
Yeah.
movies that are boring. There may be some cool things in it. There might be some positives, but all in all, it's a boring film.
I maybe laughed twice.
But overall, you're like, what's going on? Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed. That's the perfect example. The C tier are for movies that are, there's enough, it's the average tier. There's enough good and enough bad. It's like, okay, it's just fine, etc. B is when it starts to get good, but it's missing something. We enjoyed it. As far as video game movies go, we would consider it good, maybe on its own as a regular movie, standing up against the greats like, Saving Private Ryan and Shrek Ever After. You know what I mean? It might pale in comparison. Um, but as far as video game movies go, it's good. You will enjoy this movie if you want to have fun. A tier is ones who are like, all right, this is awesome. No pun intended. A for awesome. This is really good. We really enjoyed this movie. It doesn't really do much wrong. It's a solid film. We really like this. We like it a lot. It does something either really fun, really goofy, stupid in a fun way. It has fun with itself. We enjoy it. And then S tier are the ones where basically it's just that, but like I
It's
really can't
actually
fault anything in this movie. It's good.
it also has like trying to think of an example for like S tier where like yeah, because remember this is on a curve too, so like maybe an S
Video
tier
game, yeah.
video game movie might only be a B to some people, you know what I mean, like on a
Yeah.
general movie scale. There's plenty of movies that I would be like, yeah, these are A tier movies for me, and then like Sonic movie 2 is not even close. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
But
it
it's
is
our
what it is.
S. It's an S tier on our thing.
Yeah.
So
I think we're getting there, I think, with like a lot of the recent stuff to where maybe I could see us being like S tier needs to be like a higher, like you need to do something more, to get there. I think we're getting there with like The Last of Us and stuff. If I don't think we ranked that, but like if we did,
no.
you know what I mean? Like that, I think is what I'm talking about. Where like there's cinematography, direction, characters are great, blah blah blah, and it's faithful to the video game that
And
it's
that's a
based
key
off
element
of.
to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is so that's how we
I think
get
that's
to
why like Sonic Movie 2 is like an S for us because it pulls a lot from the games and has that Sonic spirit.
yeah.
So it's kind
Let's
of hard to
talk about
describe when
Mario.
we keep talking about it in so many different ways, but
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's a vibe thing. It's really a vibe thing at the end of the
If
day.
you watch these movies, you get it. You know what I mean? And if you don't, I hope we're able to kind of give a glance at kind of how we mean this. But talking about Mario, I struggle because there's a couple different ways to approach this movie. I will say this, as a video game movie that is based on a video game with the intention of portraying video game stuff in cinema, this is S tier. I don't think there's any video game movie I've seen that's been this much of the damn video game than this movie. Um, that being said, overall as a video game movie, I can see myself dropping down to A tier because I don't think it has enough heart that I think maybe Sonic 1 or 2 had.
It's
Sonic
missing
had
going back to
some
the
growth.
going back to the
movies.
spirit thing. Going back to the spirit, I feel like the Sonic movies have the Sonic spirit to it. When this it felt like it was missing that kind of like what makes. It sounds weird to say it considering all the references and stuff, but it's missing like what makes Mario kind of Mario to a degree in it. And I don't know why. I don't know. I'm not saying it's because of Chris Pratt or anything like that, but it's like this felt like it's like I like the visuals and whatnot, but it felt like Illumination doing its thing with this a little bit and not Mario doing its thing fully. There's elements of it,
And
but I
it's
feel like
tough.
it's missing that spirit. It might be, and I don't think it's that far off from getting there. But like all the things we kind of talked about with like the characters and whatnot, I don't know. It's really tough to. I agree with you. I feel like it's A for me, because I think also as a movie itself, it's like I said, it's something I'm only gonna probably see once. I'm not blown away by it. I think it's good for kids, good to have on for
It's a visual
for a movie
spectacle.
night,
Yeah,
for a
and
movie night with your kids. But
if you really like Mario, like I do, like I will get it, and I will probably watch it another time and pause at certain stuff to just see things that I definitely missed, visual, things in the distance and whatnot. It's definitely a movie for that. You know what I mean? But yeah, talking about like the Mario spirit, like I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree. I want to disagree, but I don't disagree. It's something about it feels missing, which is kind of funny because considering Sonic 1 and 2 were live action and therefore intrinsically feel less like the game than, the Mario movie does for the Mario games. Because Mario, obviously, the world looks like how they want to portray it. But I go back to the fact that they drop the ball with Mario having some sort of character growth. Again, I don't necessarily think animated movies need to, but kids are intelligent enough that they get to do that. They can understand these things. Even the young ones can understand some things. And when we get to the scene where Mario and Donkey Kong are inside the giant eel's tummy, and they both realize that their dads are kind of disappointed in them, I'm like, Donkey Kong's dad's disappointed in him too, and he really? I mean, I guess he embarrassed
they really didn't show
himself,
that. They
but
really didn't show it.
I guess
Cranky Kong from the Bayou did not show it.
and like, yeah, sure, Mario's dad is upset that Mario and you could argue they could have gone away of like, you dragged your brother into this, because that's one thing that they could have done. Like Mario's dad, says not only that you quit a stable job, you took your brother with you. You're ruining your brother's life is kind of what the dad was kind of hinting at.
Gives no autonomy to the brother, but whatever.
Right, but like, but still, like,
I know.
we're not in Luigi's head there, we're in Mario's head in that scene, right? When Mario gets Luigi separated because it was Mario's idea to save Brooklyn, and by the way, Mayor Pauline, New York City mayor, you know what I mean? Mayor of New Donk City in Mario Odyssey. It was Mario's idea to go down the sewer. It was Mario's idea to look around. And Luigi got fucking kidnapped. And they could have done something there where Mario feels bad that it's his fault. To echo his father's, you dragged your brother into this. But they don't. And like, I don't necessarily think that they need to do heavy things, but they could have. They could have.
There was no dialogue between them at
something
any point being
could've.
like, where Mario is like, hey, sorry I let you down, or
Yeah.
or like, I fucked up, like, I got you into this mess. There's never that conversation. Mario immediately goes to, I need to save him. And then it's like, Luigi
does
doesn't
everything he can to do so.
And Luigi's like thankful, but not like, it's really quick. It's just like, oh, thank you. Cool. Now we got to save
I knew
Brooklyn.
I can count on you. When we're together, nothing can hurt us. Which, it's the Super Mario Brothers movies. Luigi was in it more. They could have done more, like, with Mario. They could have done that a bit more.
I'm still happy they gave the amount of screen time they gave to Luigi, because I thought it was going to be even less. But yeah, I think it needed more considering the title. But
yeah. So yes, I think you're right on the Mario spirit because I feel like we're lacking giving Mario a spirit, as a character. So yeah, I would love to give this S tier. They can knock it out of the park next time. I feel like you know,
We gave the Sonic movie A tier, right?
we gave the first movie A tier, the second movie S tier. We can easily do that with Mario. I feel like
Yeah.
they know what they can do to set up, because here's the thing, the underlying thing on this movie is knowing how constricting Nintendo is on its properties, and I get it. Mario, they haven't fucked up with Mario since that 93 movie. So I get it. I guarantee this movie had so many drafts. Not giraffes. Sorry, probably
And giraffes.
my New York accent. Drafts, drafts. The movie's script has been written so many times. I guarantee it. So many things were cut, introduced, and etc. So like, they probably had more with Mario and Luigi, and I bet Peach maybe had some struggles before the. I don't know. We don't want to come off as not being enough girl powery. You know what I mean? I don't know. So A tier for me, A tier for you, A tier
Yeah.
for the movie, which is good. It's really good.
I mean, yeah, like I think going in, that was kind of like my expectation, right? It's like it's got to be A or up because like
If it's not,
you
then
have
what the
you
fuck
have
did
all
they do?
yeah, with all the cast they have in it, and Illumination is I don't like the minions or haven't seen them or whatever. Like I understand what they're capable of with their animation
Yeah.
style and whatnot, but yeah, agree. It met expectations, so.
Yeah.
And I guess for video game movies, an A is, I guess, not pretty high, but it's high expectations. Because we go into a lot of video game movies being like, I just hope this is better than a B. Honestly, I hope I at
Better
least
be
enjoy
better
it.
than Blood Rain.
Right. And you never know
Yeah.
anymore, especially
never
with what
know.
we drafted. After we have a couple more that I feel like will be fine, but then after that, it's gonna be
We have no
a
idea.
crapshoot. It's
That's
gonna
right,
be a
folks.
crapshoot.
If you vaguely decently enjoyed this episode, we do review lots of video game movies, new and old. Obviously, any new ones that come out in theaters we'll do like this. But every quote unquote season or year of the Sonic movie show, we scoop up a bunch of video game movies from years past and old and new, and we go through them and rank them and review them. The previous one we did was the 2016 film Kingsglaive Final Fantasy 15, a movie. Well, I don't want to spoil it. I came in hoping for something and I got something else. You came in blind and you got hit in the face. Um,
Right.
so you never know what you're getting. Some of these, we haven't seen any of these movies on the list. Some of these you don't know what you're getting, and it really feels that way. So we have a lot of fun when watching them. In fact, next episode of this podcast, unless something crazy happens, or like Sonic dies, or I don't know.
Well, I guess
Fuck,
he did.
He did. We're gonna play
We
that
haven't
game at some point.
on
As a stream,
our
I guess.
YouTube channel.
But next episode of the Sonic Movie Show is our 1 year, close enough ish anniversary. I actually remember when it came out. 1 year ish anniversary of the Sonic Movie 2. We're gonna rewatch it. We haven't seen it since theaters. We watched it twice
Last
in
April,
theaters.
right?
Yeah, last April. We haven't seen it since theaters. We're gonna watch it for a third time. Give our 1 year update. Has it held up? This movie is gonna be contexted in that. You know what I mean? It's gonna be part of that context. We've seen what Nintendo's capable of doing. Did Sonic 2 hold up in the year since? Do we feel like the hype has died down, or do we feel like it's better than we
Is
remember
Sonic
it?
top dog?
Yeah.
Sonic and Mario kind of get compared sometimes for at least on a brand level, right? And we're obviously biased here. We don't want to give any credit to the Mario establishment, but no, I feel like that's gonna be my question going into rewatching it. Is like, is this better than the Mario movie? Is this better than the first one?
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah.
as good as I remember coming out of theaters seeing? Because I'm curious, to see how it goes.
Absolutely.
And are we living in the video game movie age now? Are we there? We've been talking about it for years. Are we starting to get that? Because I feel like this was like the next one. Like if you're gonna have Mario in there in that conversation, is because people know what Mario is.
Yep.
It needs to hit.
Not
what I mean?
Variety
So-
though. Did you see Variety's review of the movie? They had no idea what
No.
Bowser was, and they described Bowser using old ass references that I don't understand at all. Something that your grandparents like. It's
Interesting.
just so funny to me. Like,
Variety is usually pretty like I
how do
feel
you
like
not fucking know
fair.
who Mario is? Like, I don't know. Like, we do audience score stuff for our video game movie reviews because, not to be one of those guys, but like it's really what the fans think about these okay to bad to maybe somewhat decent movies. You know what I mean? Like,
To
how
these
much does it
mid
do for
films.
us? Like, we're not coming at the Mario movie with the same critique as we might with like the Grand Budapest Hotel. You know what I mean? Like, we're not
Yeah.
coming at these the same way. And there is merit to reviewing a movie for just being what it wants to be, as opposed to flatlining it with the rest of everything else. So, um, I liked this movie. You liked this movie. We all liked this movie. We're gonna see you next time on another episode of the Sonic Movie Show. Have a fantastic day.